Hey, welcome to the Jerletha McDonald Show, where we discuss everything childcare and provide a platform for early educators to shine. I'm Jerletha McDonald, your host, and we are celebrating Black early childhood educators for Black History Month. And Kelly Ramsey is one on my list. She is the founder and CEO of Developing People out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And I am so elated that she is here with us today. Hey, Kelly, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you for joining us today. Well, Kelly, I'm just going to jump right into it. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and why did you get into the field of early care and education?
Of course. So I have been in the field for 3.5 decades, and I actually started in a Montessori school as a teacher's assistant. And when I had that experience, it was so rich. I wanted to keep it going. And so I went back to school, got my degree, not all at one time. It was a long span in between there. And
Uh-huh.
I fell in love with the children and working with families and parents. And then I became a parent myself. And that colored everything that I did. So now I had
Mhm.
this passion to create what I wanted for my two boys, for every family that I served, and to empower a teacher role that would continue to just change the lives of children and families and themselves. And so then I found myself at the table as a leader, and I've been bringing people along ever since. So that's why I got started and what motivates me.
Yeah. So could you tell us a little bit more about your leadership journey, what that means to you?
So my leadership journey really grew out of my own determination to be the best in my field. And so I did not have very many mentors. And so I was very tenacious and I was resourceful and I sought out my own connections. Most of those happened at NEYC. And I
Mm-hmm.
would just strike up a conversation, pull up a chair, sit down, talk about things, get empowered, and then come back to my work and do the work. And so what I found
Mm-hmm.
was that the leadership I was seeking, I needed to become that for other aspiring leaders. And so I like to say that I found a chair, pulled it up, made space at the table, and pulled up to the table. And then what I do is I keep that table open and keep that chair open until someone else can sit in it, and then I bring them along. So that's really my leadership journey is grew out of what I wanted to receive and to have. And so I started creating these pathways to success because of that, conversation by conversation. People are the center of the work that I do. So developing people is all about helping individuals discover the greatness that's already within them because we come here to the earth to fulfill a purpose. All of us do. And so I help people discover what that is, develop their skills and their goals and their dreams, and then launch them, get them out of their head, out of their journals, onto off of paper, into action with some action steps to make it come to fruition. Because every goal that we have is attached to someone else's destiny. And so if we just hold it
Good.
and never do the work, then that person is not going to get to where they need to be. So that's what development people is all about. And we do it for both personal development and for small business, nonprofits, childcare center owners, communities, and we help people develop it from business plan to 501c3 to a
Uh-huh.
vision session, strategic planning for your board. All of those things are available.
Oh wow, wow! So for a child care entrepreneur like myself, this would have been so beneficial, especially when I first started. If I had someone that can help me, with from the foundation, and that's what your company does. And not
Yeah.
only you go above and beyond that as well. So
Yeah.
that is good. And you guys, we're going to have her information at the bottom to where you can contact developing people if you guys are needing her assistance. And also, okay, so who in Black history inspired you and why?
So the person that really, I have so many because I'm just rooted and grounded in my ancestors and elders and learning from them. But Maya Angelou is one of the people who I admire because she transcended struggle and she took
Mhm.
her life and she decided that she was going to live it to the fullest and with color. And that color created joy in her life through her dance, through her music, through her being a writer. And she inspired people to be who they are, not let anyone stop you from reaching your goals. And she actually did it. Like, she's the image that I think of. I actually have a bracelet with her quote on it. And so and that's the part that I pull from all the time because she's so important in my life. And my dad, he's gone to be with the Lord, but he always, when I would come home to visit, he would have Phenomenal Woman, the book, on my bed.
Oh.
And so he always would leave that book there. I would read it. I would get inspired all over again. But
Mm-hmm.
I became that phenomenal woman because of the images like Maya Angelou.
Yes, yes. And so, how important would you say images like that are? Because representation is very important,
Yeah.
especially in early childhood, especially to the children that we're serving. So, how important is representation? And especially in different fields. So, Maya Angelou was a poet, author, actor, and a whole plethora of things. And so,
Yes.
why is that important?
So one, it's important because you may not have any other images around you. And when I
Mhm.
see the image of another black woman, be it younger or older, it doesn't matter like the age, and I see them striving and having confidence and being bold, I was like, I can do that too. And so when you
Mhm.
see that representation, it shows you it's possible for you to do the same things and
Mhm.
just to take a leap, to be brave. And so I when I mount a stage or a platform, I'm mounting it with all of those women that I've looked at, and I'm literally embodying who they are as I come up to be myself and develop that. And then I'm portraying that, and that's causing others to also come forward and to take a risk and to do things once they hear my story. So, yeah, it is critical. It is so critical.
Hey, Kelly. So, what advice would you give to an up and coming early childhood professional, one who is thinking about getting into the field, or one who's already in the field and wants to climb the career ladder? What advice would you give to him or her?
So I the first advice I give everyone is one is bring your authentic self to every interaction that you have. No matter if you're just starting out, if you're a director, if you're a parent, engaging with the school, always raise your voice in the situation. And what I mean by your voice is that our voice represents all of who we are, our ancestry, our culture, our beliefs, our different things and talents that we might have, all of that needs to come forward as you're working in the field. And so if you
Mhm.
find a place that celebrates you, definitely hang on to that place. But maybe you find a place that's a growing place. And so in that growing place, you want to identify what are the sources that are around me that celebrate who I am, but
Mhm.
also teach me and help me to learn how to be better and how to serve families at the end of the
Mhm.
day. And the other piece is that in that search, be sure you're connecting who you are with the families that you're serving because
Oh,
families want to see themselves. We talked about representation. They want to
uh-huh.
see themselves in their teachers. So they want to see someone who has similar beliefs, similar
That's true.
attributes, and that understand maybe my aspect of parenting. Maybe it looks different in different cultures. But if we don't bring our full whole self to the interaction and our voice, then people miss out in getting to know who we are. And
Mhm.
I in my field, when I was growing as a leader, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for people who were similar beliefs, who would challenge me, who would push me forward. And so now I help to cultivate that voice just by being reflective and helping people to establish their voice in their settings as well.
Hmm. That is some great advice. Thank you so much. And thank you for being that strong leader. And like we said earlier, representation matters. So thank you for being representation for me. Kelly and I first met at NAEYC HPIO Diversity and Inclusion Fellowship Program, right? About 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
And in that program, I heard Kelly speaking and some other phenomenal phenomenal ladies as well speaking. And Kelly was one that really stuck out to me because when you spoke, first of all, when you stood up, you looked like me. Right. And so I was like, oh, yes, she looks like me. And she's in the front of the room and she's commanding, your presence just commanded, not in a bad way, but just commanded like, wow, who is this lady up there speaking so powerful and eloquently? And I'm like, man, who is this? And I'm listening to you. So I'm listening. I'm also taking notes. I'm taking notes on your poise, how you stand, because I'm learning how to be a speaker. So not only am I learning about, diversity and inclusion, right? But I'm also learning like, okay, this is how it goes. I'm going to be on this stage one day. I just knew I am, so I'm like, this is what the pros are doing. So that's what I meant by representation. So thank you for what you do for us in the field of early care and education and paving the way for early childhood educators like myself. Make sure you guys look at the bottom. I will have all Kelly's information, how you can contact her and her agency. And also, thank you for tuning in to the Jerletha McDonald Show, where we discuss everything childcare and provide a platform for early educators to shine. I'm your host, Jerletha McDonald, and my guest, Kelly Ramsey. So thank you guys, and you have a great and fantastic day. Bye. The Jerletha McDonald Show is brought to you by Emblem Group and Daycare Time Solutions.